Hey guys, welcome to our channel. So I decided that since I'm not going to have time coming right up here, I'm going to be busy all afternoon and I'm not sure what tomorrow's going to bring. So I figured I'd take a shot at this video right now for Danny. So if I can understand this correctly, and I'm going to come over here, let's see, I think here. Danny says, I'm talking to a nice guy who happens to be an Albanian and a Muslim and is interested in the quantum effect, aka the Mandela effect. You and I have had cross correspondence for a few years now. Yeah, I think 3 or 4. Yeah, geez, maybe even 5. I'd have to go back and look because there was a time that we kind of were on a hiatus because of our living situation. But would you give just a verification that you're aware of me for him? Well, very aware. And a simple summary of what you're thinking would help. The guy is at least curious about things going on, especially about Earth. All right. Well, I'm going to take a shot at this. And I don't know if this will be what you're going for or not. But yes, Danny and I have definitely had some correspondence for several years. I'm thinking 4, maybe 5. We might have started this channel in 2017, and I think he's been around since almost the very beginning. And as far as what we think is going on, to the best evidence that we have, and I don't know that I need to get into our system, but we do have a system. Some of these Mandela effects are provably connected, and whatever's in them is provable. They're not just random, that's for sure. And it could be anybody's guess as to what's actually going on. We think it's the multiverse. Quantum computers are causing some of them for sure. And Danny is always talking about, he thinks it's a communication. And I think he's right. I think you're right, for sure. I think because the Freemasons, the Cabal, the Jesuits, or the people who do some of this really messed up stuff, by their own code, have to tell you what's going on. And I think the changes in reality are decodable. They're telling you. Most people would ignore it. They're telling you, though. If somebody were to break it down and and these guys use the gematria code, they use it. So that's what they do. So it would make sense that they would connect when you got it down and ran gematria if you could find what was actually there. As far as the other theories go right now, I'm not dismissing them, but the evidence we have points to the multiverse quantum computers. One of the problems I have is with some of these other theories, we just went over simulation theory. And Danny, I know you're big on cryogenic sleep theory. Which the problem I have with, we already know the problems I have with simulation theory. There's a host of them. The problem I have with cryogenic sleep theory would be, if that was the case, literally the only person that should be real is me, or the only person that should be real is you. That would make my fiance not real, my cat here not real, and just a dream, if I'm to understand that theory correctly. And there would be no point to me making videos if that were the case, because I'd just be doing it in a big old dream, which I'd be the only member, and everyone else would just be a figment of my imagination. That's the way I see it, and I don't think things are that way. That doesn't seem to be the way it is, but I could be wrong. And maybe I'm wrong about the theory. I'd have to look into it a little more, but to me, if you're sleeping and dreaming, then um, there wouldn't be anyone else to talk to. There wouldn't be anyone else to bother making a video for. You might as well just lay down and give up at that point. To me, there wouldn't be any point in talking to myself and my imaginary friends, for lack of better words, because it'd all be a dream. So you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong on that. If there's something I'm missing there, but that's why right now I can't subscribe to that particular theory as far as the cryogenic sleep, as far as the simulation goes. But the communication, oh yes, I think the communication's definitely there. I think you're dealing with quantum computers a lot. I don't think quantum computers are causing all of them, the changes. And as far as the Earth changes go, those could easily, we're going to be working on, we have worked on the South America 1,500 mile move. We got a chunk of the way through that decode. Now, will we be able to connect anything to it in gematria or get through it even? I'm not sure. We took the 1,500 miles and we went ahead and converted that to meters, yards, inches, I believe. We took a whole bunch of measurements because we figured that if a quantum computer we're leaving a code and looking for something, it would take 1,500 miles and convert it to everything, absolutely everything that it could be converted to, and it would use all those numbers. One thing we haven't figured out that I haven't decided yet is how we're going to convert those numbers into letters. Are we going to use the simple alphabetic order? Are we going to use the alphabetic order in reverse? Are we going to try the numerology chart, which will be 3 letters to a number and the zeros will come out? I'm not sure. I really think that we would get our best information out of that if we did the alphabetic order. So some of those zeros would come out and some of them would be used like a 10 or a 20 or something, and whatever letter that corresponded to. We think that it's being broke down in more than just numerology charts. We think that it's being broken down in alphabetic order, reverse alphabetic order, probably 1 through 8, like that one chart showed, instead of 1 through 9, and probably others that I'm not even thinking of right now. It probably breaks it down a lot of ways, and we can't get it all. So, and I kind of got off there, but that was the South America change. As far as the Earth changes go, I don't really know how to decode a lot of those. I'm not sure, and I don't know everything. So, just because I can't think of a way to do it doesn't mean that it can't be done. And some of them might be something other than a quantum computer. Once again, if one dies in one reality, your consciousness probably, most likely, shifts to another reality that's very close to the one that you were in. So, or if there was an extinction level event, I think we gone over that before. But that's kind of what we think, and we can prove what's in the changes. We can prove that they connect. I can show Gordy Rose talking about quantum computing, how these machines can dive into other realities and pull resources back and create an effect in this world, this reality. He literally says that. And so that to me speaks a lot, and that wasn't the video that I even was looking for. The video that I was looking for was the one in, I think, 2016, where he said at that point there were no less than 12 quantum computers operating and no less than 8 different realities apiece at that point. And so he mentioned there were many of those machines deployed, and mentioned where 2 of them were deployed, University of South Carolina and NASA. Well, my fiance and I talked about that, and he told where those 2 were deployed, but he said there were many deployed at that time in 2015. So, and in 2016, even though I can't find it, he said there were 12 deployed, or 12 operating at that point. So, and now there's probably even more. So to find USC and NASA, we don't know what we're looking for. It would be like finding 2 needles in a very large haystack, because some of these come out in translations, some of these come out in the extractions themselves, like Shemi, like Coleman Shemi, the artist from Argentina, which I believe is in South America. So there you go. But yeah, Danny, or my man, whoops, wrong one. Mandela Effect Quantum Stuff Texas Danny. Yeah, that's the name of his channel. I've just been calling him Danny. But he's been kind of a big part of this. He's the one that convinced me to look at other theories in the first place. And I shouldn't say convinced me to look at other theories, but you know, he likes it all on the table. And I kind of, the same thing. Yeah, I feel the same way. I'd like it all on the table as well. And, but, you know, for me, if some of the stuff on the table doesn't make sense, or there's no evidence for it, then that can be shoved to the back burner until somebody produces some evidence. For me, I have to go where the evidence leads on this particular channel. With the system we're using, I need to go where it leads. That's what I have to do. Wherever that evidence goes, that's where I have to go. If it goes somewhere I don't like, too bad. Doesn't matter if I like it or not. The whole beauty of this system is it really doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter how I feel. It matters what comes up, what I can prove, and what I can't prove. Well, what we can't prove is why this stuff connects. We have a theory being it's quantum computers running the gematria algorithm and connecting all their calculations through gematria, and basically telling you what they're, at least telling you their calculation points. These calculations, these problems would be so complex that, you know, I couldn't solve them. Obviously, if you need a quantum computer to solve them, I'm not going to solve them. I probably can't even figure out what the calculation exactly is, but what we can do is show calculation points. We can show the calculation points, and we can show who may have run that calculation, and we can show the connection through the gematria algorithm. That we can do. We only have a theory as to why, but we definitely have proof of everything else. But I like most of Danny's ideas, or all of them actually, even the cryogenic sleep. That's an interesting thought. I just, if that were true, and maybe that's part of it for me. I mean, if that were true, then there'd be no point in me making this video right now. I'm only making it for myself. I'm not making it for Danny, because Danny would just be a figment of my imagination or part of my dream. And if Danny were the real one in this scenario, then he'd be asking a figment of his imagination or part of his dream stuff. So I think we're dealing with actual reality here. I really do. And I think that reality is being manipulated by quantum computers in a lot of cases. So, um, and the Earth changes. The North Pole ice cap is gone. Part of my home state, Nebraska, there's a city in Nebraska that, as far as I remember, it should have been in Kansas, but that southeast border looks a little bit different to me. But I'm not the best with maps. I'm not great with them. I could determine where South America was to me and use a scale to figure out it was 1,500 miles east. But, a lot of map stuff, I'm not the greatest with. So Danny's kind of the resident map guy, if you want to know the truth. I'm okay with math. I can figure out variance percentages on the songs that have changed, and we can actually we can assume, we can figure that those those variance percents, roughly between 0.01 and 0.001. I think we had the one that was 100th of 1% variation, if I'm not mistaken, all the way up to 8 or 9%. But I don't think we've had anything. If we have had anything over 10%, it's only been a little bit over. But mostly less than 1% to 8% variance in the songs. That's what you got. And if that translates to everything else, as big as some of those changes look, they're probably actually really small incremental changes. So even the South America 1,500 mile move probably isn't that big. Take the Mona Lisa. Went from no expression to smiling. And that's pretty noticeable. But if you think about it, that's only two little lines in a whole painting. Not very much going on there as far as a change. Just two lines that go up instead of, no expression to just a smile. You've only taken two lines and extended them up and made it an obvious grin instead of, slightly down to where there was no expression. You couldn't tell what was going on there. And so those two lines, unless there were other things wrong with the painting, probably wouldn't be you'd be way less than 1% variance on the whole painting itself if that's all that was different. So you wouldn't there wouldn't be a huge change. Very, very small, but very, very noticeable because it's right in the middle of the painting, right? It was the whole point of the painting. She had no expression. You couldn't tell what she was thinking, what she was feeling. Now she's got a big old smile on her face. But that's only two lines in a painting. And that ain't much. There's a lot of lines and brush strokes that are the same as far as I know, unless somebody has other changes to that painting that I don't know about. So, but yeah, definitely know Danny, and this is what we think is going on. Excuse me. And Danny's been a big part of this going on, what we've been, and a big part of looking at, other theories. And I'm still open to other theories. We tried to prove ourselves wrong, but we failed with a random letter generator. And if anybody, anybody remembers that, it was a waste of time because the pattern wasn't there and they wouldn't go through the categories. Some of them would, but a lot of them wouldn't. So, yeah. And the map changes. That's what I got right now, based on what I'm thinking. You wanted. This ran longer than I wanted, so I'm going to end this video with that. And let me know. I'm just going to post this. I'll throw it on a comment on your channel, and let me know if this is what you wanted. Let me know if you wanted something different, because if you want something different, I'll definitely do something different. Um, so, but for now, guys, if whoever watches this, I mean, this is mostly for Danny, but what the heck, it could be for anybody that wanted to know what was going on, what we were thinking, and what Danny means to all this. Definitely a big part of it. He's definitely got me thinking of a lot of things over the years, and probably inspired more videos than I can think of right offhand. So, for now, guys, thanks for all your thumbs up, thumbs down when appropriate. Thanks for all your comments, leads, feedback, and subscriptions. And thanks for watching, guys. And for now, you guys have a great rest of your day.